captain Bruno Fernandes, Calvert-Lewin brace, and even Son scored. Game week 9 was a kind one for me, and shortly we'll be looking ahead to game week 10. But how did you go on in game week 9, Nacho? How are you feeling?
It's best we don't talk about my week. We move swiftly on to yours, buddy, because this was not a good week.
Well, we will be coming to yours, gladly, but we'll have a quick look. Should we have a quick look at mine to see how we're getting on?
Yeah, let's start with yours, buddy. Let's start on a high note. Sure, come on.
Okay. So, at the time of recording, which is before the Burnley and Southampton games finished, I'm on 65 points. So I've had 2 really good weeks in a row, and I'm really happy with that.
You deserve this, buddy, because, as you mentioned, a slow start, but class, cream rise to the top, as they say, so...
It does, Nacho. It certainly does, mate. Yeah, no, I have, I'm trying to be humble, but I did have a pretty poor start, and I've been rising up the ranks the last few weeks, so I'll be up to around about 800, 700k, I think, after this game week's done. So I'm really happy with that. So we just have a look at how my team got on. So obviously the big one, Bruno Fernandes, captain, really came in. He has been scoring for weeks. I'm so happy owning him. I know some people might say he's lucky, but the stats show he isn't lucky. He's creating loads, he's shooting a lot, and he is on penalties. You can't get around that. So I think that was a safe choice this week, and it delivered. So Chilwell in defence, happy with that. Son, I kept Son, mate.
Yeah. Mate, you've done very well there, because I think the general consensus on Twitter was to move away from the Spurs player. So for you to stick onto Son was a great choice. And now, getting the returns, you're in a dilemma right now whether you sell a form player like him. So deserve the points, mate, for sure this week.
Yeah, you're right. It is a dilemma, and I'll come on to that later. I'm so confused about this coming week. But go back to this last week. So Calvert-Lewin, oh mate, he must be the best value player this season. So consistent, practically scores every game, and his all-round play is just fantastic. He holds the ball up so well, he gets into the good positions. I just don't think you can sell him at all this season, and even some people don't own him.
Who are you looking at? Are you looking at me, mate?
I am looking at you, Nacho, son.
I'm going to literally... I remember pre-season we had you claiming that Calvert-Lewin could be the best value pick in the game. Every time I fall asleep, I've got that in my head. Just your image above me saying this. So I almost feel like I have to go against you every week and not own him. But yeah, first time I've seen Calvert-Lewin play in a long time on TV, and he is such a good player. Like, I've only really been seeing him from the FPL points side of things, but man, he is a good player. So good.
I'm just glad you think of me late at night, while you're laying next to your girlfriend. I think that's really sweet. So thanks, Nacho.
I will see that.
And obviously Kane got the assist. So, really happy all round. If I do look at the kind of problem areas, Phil Foden, it's absolutely doing my head in. And we'll come on to that later. It's just bench. So, like, what is Pep doing? Like, he looks so much better. City looks so much better when he plays. I don't understand why he's being benched. Makes no sense.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I totally agree. They're struggling for goals as it is. A player like him, who obviously can unlock defence, is a strange decision.
Yeah, and I think obviously Brewster with the 1 point coming on. Most games he will start, and he looked okay actually, I thought, when he came on. So not too worried about him. So yeah, at this point, I'm at 65 points. Hopefully end up a bit more after all the games are finished. So pretty happy with that. So should we have a look at how you got on?
Oh, do we have to?
We do, mate, unfortunately. I know. Go on, tell us.
So obviously, it's been a tricky week, mate, and I've had a decent start to the season, so I quite, in a way, weirdly have enjoyed having a bad week, because I enjoy these kind of challenges in the game. So first and foremost, my transfer was I moved on Son to Grealish. So the Villa man just tempted me, and the big, obviously, decision was Salah. So I see you held on to him. I decided to hold on to him. I was tempted to sell him going into Fernandes, but I thought, no, I'm going to hold on to him. And yeah, my captaincy of Grealish did not turn out well at all. That was like absolute killer. It was the first time I've gone against a premium asset. But I looked at my side and I didn't see any other real value. So I thought Grealish at home is a great pick. 2 points, terrible.
Do you know what, though? I think, in fairness to you, that bringing in Grealish was the right move long term. I think he's really good value. And I had Grealish as vice, and he was probably going to be my captain if I didn't go Fernandes. I think it was a good decision. I think Barkley being injured did hinder him quite a lot, and it's something to look out for the coming weeks. But it was a good
Yeah.
decision beforehand, so don't beat yourself up about that one, I think.
Thank you, mate. Thank you. But no, 33 points so far with McCarthy and Jimenez to play. So I'm really hoping for Jimenez, and how that guy's in my team still, I will never know. But as I mentioned before, mate, the double Chelsea defence is really where I thought the value was going to be. And so far, it's returning well. Reece James, while he stays in the Chelsea side, he is such a good asset. So, yeah, really happy with the defence of those that started. The midfield, as I mentioned, I just want to go past that because there's some weeks managers know where you come into a week and you look at your team and go, damn, it's going to be a tough week. And this is one of these weeks. When you're going into a team with Basuma, Souček starting, then, God, you are asking for trouble. And that's what happened to me there. What is that? That's 7 points accumulated for 4 players at midfield. Oh, move on. Let's move on, mate. But as I mentioned,
I mean, are you sure we don't have to move on? I mean, I'm quite enjoying looking at that for once, to be honest.
The good thing about this team is I'm happy with it long term. I've got Salah coming back after being tested negative, and I've got 2 transfers in my pocket ready to get some of these problems sorted. So I'm optimistic.
I think we both kept Salah, didn't we? And it was a bit of a 50-50 for a lot of people. And I think, fortunately, we've been proved right on this occasion. Yeah. I think, we didn't lose out too much by not replacing him. And he looks so good ahead of Brighton. So I think you are well set. And in fairness, you did say a few weeks ago that you thought Reece James and Chilwell would be this season's Trent and Robinson. And it definitely looks that way. Fantastic.
Big claim.
Big claim. Play for a crap team. Apart from that, it's all right.
No, you're lucky I'm not right next to you. Now get in.
Okay, so should we have a look ahead to game week 10, see how we're set up?
Yeah, let's have a look ahead. Yeah, so I think it's going to be quite interesting to see what directions we go here. I think for you, mate, especially, it's this double Spurs. I think a lot of people are interested to see what you're thinking on this.
What am I thinking? It's a very, very big question. I mean, yeah, if we look at the team, so I think that is the big issue that I have to face. To just discuss some of my transfer thoughts with you guys and you, I've got 2 free transfers. I think one thing I can do, I've literally got 0.0 or 0.1 in the bank, and I can just do Foden to Diogo Jota. I do quite like that move because I think Diogo Jota is, even when he's coming on, he's scoring. And I think he'll play in the next couple of weeks because of all the injuries that Liverpool have got. So that's one move I'm considering. But I always have a plan in FPL. I always kind of have a long-term strategy. And my planned move for this week was actually going to be Kane down to an either Antonio or Bamford, and then Son to De Bruyne, which would then allow me to the following week do like a Foden to a Ziyech or say a Lascelles up to a Cancelo. So those are the 2 routes I'm looking at. I mean, what do you think of those?
Yeah, we discussed it on our main show really about the Man City assets, and the problem is right now is that they're not scoring as we expect, and they're not creating the big chances that we expect. However, that said, their fixtures are so good. And the problem you have right now is I feel like you need a Man City ownership. However, Foden might not be that guy. And he's kind of sat in that team where you probably think to yourself, well, at least I've got somebody in the attacking lineup who might get returns. But if he's constantly sat on the bench, then you're going to go week in, week out, watching the likes of De Bruyne and Sterling getting the points. So I do think if you can make that downgrade and go up into Sterling or KDB, that could be a really solid move. But it will be parting ways with Kane, who has been in decent form.
I think that's the problem, is both Kane and Son have been in such good form. I just don't know if I feel right about selling them yet. I mean, I could just do the Foden to Jota move this week, have 2 free transfers the following week, kind of assess City, see how they get on, and then do those moves when I feel more comfortable about it. So, options. Yeah, I mean, if I just look at the other players, I'm happy with the rest of the players, to be honest. I mean, Fernandes, good fixture, Grealish, still good, Calvert-Lewin. I might probably play Brewster. I think I'm going to bench Foden. I'm just fed up of him coming on, getting those 1 points. It's absolutely doing my head in, mate, honestly. Yeah, I mean, defence is a bit of a worry. Walker-Peters, Lascelles, Chilwell, it's not great. But there's not many points in defence apart from Chelsea, so I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah.
And
also, I like the way it's been structured. I think if you can target a Man City premium, I think that could be a good direction to go to. And as you mentioned, if you sell Kane, you still have Son has a bit of coverage there. With the fixtures coming up, it does look like Son could capitalise. And for Bruno Fernandes, that Southampton away fixture looks really good for him. His away form brilliant. So again, another captaincy pick possibly there for you. So I like your team so far. Strong.
Yeah. Thank you. I think so. I think, captaincy is going to be between Fernandes or Salah. And it's a bit of a toss-up in there. I haven't made up my mind. I think both are really good options. So I'll think about that one. Currently I'm edged towards Salah, but we know Fernandes does well away, so I think both are good options. So should we have a look at how you're setting up for next week?
Yeah, let's unravel the master plan. So this is going to be a tricky one because, as I mentioned, I'm currently sat at about 300,000 red arrows. So it's dropping me a fair bit down. So I need a little bit of surgery in the team. But I think the big thing about this is not to panic when you have a red arrow. It's really a case of not being short-term and looking at the long-term picture. So right now, looking at my team, I do think that I have players that long-term are still great value. Straight away, that midfield with Salah coming back in looks brilliant. But I think the main thing for me is I have 2 free transfers, which is going to unlock a lot of doors. And although Chelsea are starting to come into a bit of a tricky run, obviously Tottenham at home this week, the double Chelsea defence is still a good option, I believe, because of their attacking potential. So I'm comfortable playing them against Tottenham based on their attacking potential right there. I think the main thing for me is that I want a bit of the Man City defence. Now, I know that's crazy saying that after they conceded 2 against Spurs, but Diaz and Cancelo at 5.5 million. With the fixtures they have coming up, I think it's great value. So right now I'm looking at one of my free transfers being Kyle Walker-Peters up into the likes of Cancelo or Diaz because I've got a bit of money in the bank there, so I could make that move. What do you think of that, bud?
I do. I mean, I really like the City defenders going forward. I think with those fixtures, they do look more solid this year. And I think Cancelo as well does have that attacking potential, and Diaz can, score from a set piece. So I do really like that move. I think my only worry for your team is like you've still got Raul Jimenez, and you're playing Jimenez and Brewster, and I just think, I mean, I know I'm an Everton fan, but how long can you keep going without Calvert-Lewin when he's scoring every single game?
Exactly it, man. And this is the week that Jimenez goes. Hold me to that because the guy is not the postman anymore. Last season, delivering every week. This year, I don't know who he is, but the big thing for him is there's so many choices going down. So we spoke about Bamford, we've spoken about the likes of Antonio and even Watkins at Aston Villa. But as you mentioned, Calvert-Lewin, I feel like I've been putting him off every week because a fixture comes along which is a little tricky, but he's getting in between the posts and scoring all the time, and I just really don't know how much longer I can put him off. So Jimenez to Calvert-Lewin and then possibly Kyle Walker-Peters up to a Cancelo or Diaz. This looks a really solid move long term, and I think I might need you to message me, mate, to remind me of this conversation.
Oh, I will, don't you worry.
Because you know what will happen, we'll log in and I'll have another random in my team, so...
No, I think you got options. Out of interest, who do you prefer out of Antonio or Bamford?
Yeah, it's a big one. As mentioned, we already spoke about this in the main show about how Bamford's stats look so good against all sides. And I do think that Bamford poses just some really good stats in an attacking side like Leeds. However, Antonio, I love the guy. What a man.
Me too.
And in a West Ham side who were getting results, my only worry about him, injury prone.
Yeah.
That's my only worry, but I would probably go for Antonio in the entire season. I think Leeds have got a few mixed fixtures. Yeah. I think one note on my side as well, one thing that I think a lot of managers are currently debating about is Justin, Leicester's Justin. I think there's worries about his place being taken. I think the big thing there is mainly just to not panic, wait until the possible rotation, if any, does happen, and then he can be a player to move on. I think right now it's not even worth worrying about a transfer until he actually does get taken out of the side.
Definitely. And just finally, who's your captain going to be for this week?
Yeah, so this is the one, isn't it? I think that's a really good option, whereas last week wasn't that good. I think I'm going to go for Salah. I just think coming back from COVID, they were so good against Leicester. And away at Brighton, who are proving they're not exactly the best defence. I think Salah could have a haul there. So Salah and probably vice captaincy on Sterling for sure.
I think that's a safe choice for sure. So
hopefully Green Arrow.
Yeah, you will. You'll get there, mate. Don't worry. So that's our teams and plans done for the next week. Let's hope we have a good one. Let's hope Nacho picks up the points. And obviously, guys, let us know what you think of our teams. What do you think of the moves we're going to make? Should I bring in Jota or should I can I go without City? Should Nacho make those moves? Should he get the City defender? Let us know what you think.
Yeah, and guys, if I do not bring in Calvert-Lewin, I give you permission to abuse me on social media. So do so if you do not give him my side.
I will. I definitely will.
I know you will there. But obviously, guys, if you did enjoy the video, be sure to like, hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss any future episodes.
Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.